Welcome back, Rovers! The developer stream is just around the corner, where we'll get more information about what's coming up in version 3.6, as well as details on two new characters we've already seen in the story, Qingjiao and Jinran. However, we already have plenty of clues right inside the game, so I decided to gather everything we currently know about Qingjiao into one place. Ever since the version 3.5 story, the most striking moment for me was not Yanyan's transformation, but Qingjiao's arrival right in the thick of the battle for Xuanfan Fortress. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who felt that way. As for me, it was absolutely cinematic. A brutal battle where Rover and the fortress defenders were giving it their absolute all, but were still being overwhelmed. Then, right at the climax, she appears. And by unleashing a rain of 1,000 blades upon the enemy ranks, Qingjiao instantly turned the tide of battle, giving Rover and Yanyan the opening they needed to take down the main mastermind behind the mechanical puppet rebellion. Qingjiao is a paragon who has protected Xuanfan Fortress and the lands of Menzhou from monsters of the Lament for centuries. In Chinese culture, which Huanlong draws heavily inspiration from, such characters are akin to earthly deities, or immortal guardians who stand watch over order. Based on the overall impression she made on me, the closest character comparison would be Cartethyia, or more specifically Fleur-de-Lis, who shares the same aura of detachment and steadfastness in the face of any threat. And I think that in the storyline we'll also get to see a warmer side of her, of duty, so to speak. On top of that, they also share the Aero attribute and the role of the main damage dealer in the team. Her role hasn't been officially confirmed yet, but the presence of such a massive array of piercing and slashing weapons that she effortlessly controls makes it crystal clear that she is far from a support or a sub-DPS. As for her gameplay mechanics, the developers have also given us a lot of hints regarding her role and potential teams. From the previews, we know for certain she's an Aero character. Moreover, with the release of version 3.5, the only Aero set added to the game gives a 10% Aero damage bonus, and triggering tune strain shifting increase crit damage by 20% and Aero damage bonus by 30%. Also, in the latest update to the Wuthering mode, a new golden token was added that currently cannot be used by a single existing character. And the only unit being added during this run of Wuthering Wastes is Qingjiao. There is also an interesting detail regarding the golden token that I pointed out in my overview of the current Wuthering Wastes season. It looks insanely overtuned with buffs. This could mean one of two things. Either the developers really want to sell Qingjiao and this is a way to bait players, or she struggles a bit in content with multiple enemies waves. In the latter case, it's likely because most of her damage is packed into a single massive hit, since her cinematic introduction clearly shows she has no shortage of AoE capabilities. Qingjiao is a sword user, though honestly I find it surprising she doesn't use a broadblade, which would have felt more authentic, given to the sheer size of the giant blades she summons. Her belonging to the sword class, combined with the fact that she doesn't scale off HP like Cartethyia, gives her one huge advantage. There's already a massive pool of older generation sword users in the game whose signatures you can pass on to her. As an F2P option or for new players, Emerald of Genesis is also a very solid pick. Looking at her set, it becomes obvious that Qingjiao revolves around the tune strain mechanic to amplify her damage. Luke shares a similar mechanic. When it comes to team comps, Luke has two main options that could also work for Qingjiao: Denia with Moni or Lynae with Moni. While Denia is straightforward, she directly buffs stacks of tune strain mechanic itself. Lynae is a bit more interesting. She provides solid damage buffs, a 15% all damage bonus and a 25% resonance liberation damage bonus. However, there is still not a single main DPS in the game who can fully utilize both of Lynae's buffs in her tune strain mode, and I'm almost 100% sure that Qingjiao is meant to be that character. To support this theory, just look at the recent sword characters, excluding Yang. Amit and Hiyuki also deal their primary damage through Resonance Liberation, but they play around Lynae's other mode. Given how long it's been since Lynae release, it's about time the developers close this mechanical gap. And finally, I want to highlight the team compositions that I predict will work best with Qingjiao. I expect her to have two premium team options, Denia and Monia, and Lynae in Tune Strain mode with Monia. Their overall performance will likely be roughly equal, though Denia will perform better against groups of enemies thanks to her crowd control and gathering capabilities. As alternative options, you could also consider a team consisting of Chaconne and Aero Rover. In this setup, Chaconne acts as the enabler who allows Qingjiao to run Cartethyia set, granting 10% aero damage bonus, 10% crit rate and 30% aero damage bonus, while Rover itself serves as a free aero damage amplifier. On top of that, if you have her signature weapon, Chaconne will also allow Qingjiao to shred enemy aero resistance by 10%. In this composition, Qingjiao can be considered as an extremely budget-friendly next-generation character. Her raw numbers will almost certainly surpass Cartethyia's, and upgrading to her will literally just cost you the pulls for Qingjiao herself, while reusing standard gear like Emerald of Genesis. And as for me, I'm definitely pulling. This character managed to hook me hard, both from a lore perspective, even with just a few minutes of screen time, and because of her accessibility and potential as a powerful main DPS. Let me know your pull plans for 3.6 characters in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, it will motivate me a lot. In the meantime, I'm heading off to script a similar breakdown for a new male character. Until next time, Rovers.